Republicans and future Republicans, welcome to a brand new video. Here we are. The new season of South Park has begun, and I enjoy watching them vicariously through blooms. You could argue it's not the correct way to appreciate media, but I would make the argument that it is my channel, and I get to be as retarded as I want. So leave a like, and we are going to be covering the entire season of South Park. I'm not sure if I'm going to react to the actual episodes or the Blooms videos, because his analyses basically cover the whole thing. And also, I have been having hella copyright issues, and I do not want to fight with the YouTube gods. Subscribe, 10,000 likes for the next episode of South Park. As you know, South Park currently is, let's just say, beefing with the President of the United States. All right, let's see what we got.
So the season 27 premiere of South Park just aired, and holy shit.
Yeah.
I think it's safe to say that South Park is back. And
We're
when I
so
say
back.
that, I don't just mean that
so
the show
back.
is literally back. I mean the soul, the edge, the controversy. South Park is back in a way that they haven't been back in probably at least a decade. And if
we are so back. I love good media. I love good media. Nux, look at the new video. Are you joking? Oh my god, dude. South Park blasts Trump and woke left pretend the right is triggered. I mean, honestly, I think he's right. Honestly, I think he's right. Where's the lie? Literally, where's the lie? I saw so many people screaming, guys, the right wing is so triggered. They made fun of Trump, bro. I make fun of Trump. Are you crazy? Where's the fucking Epstein files, bro?
they hadn't made it very clear in the past, I think Matt and Trey just wanted to remind us, they truly do not give a single fuck. What they did in this episode is probably the most insane middle finger I have ever seen. And I'm not even talking about what they did to Trump.
Oh! All right.
Sure, they tore Trump to shreds, but not just for the sake of it. No. Making fun of Trump was a calculated play on their part to achieve their real goal, screwing Paramount as hard as they can.
Oh my god. They're geniuses. They're geniuses. They're insane. I'm in shock. Okay, so let me tell you something, all right? And this is going to be important for you to note. I am working on a video about Stephen Colbert's show getting closed down by Paramount because it was too anti-Trump, okay? I'm working on a video for Nuxanor, my second channel, when I talk about that. So let me get this straight. They destroyed Stephen Colbert's show because he was too anti-Trump. And then they gave $1.5 billion to South Park. And then South Park made the most anti-Trump episode of all time, literally to completely fuck Paramount. That is so smart. That's amazing. I love South Park, bro.
Like, I don't think you guys understand just how insane this actually is. I'm so excited to talk about it because if you don't know the full context of everything going on behind the scenes, by the end of this video, you will...
What is that? That Trump sleeping with Satan? Oh wait, this is some Epstein references if I've ever seen one.
And you'll understand that this might be the most insane thing South Park has ever done, even crazier than the Muhammad and Scientology stuff. This is genuinely some next level 200 IQ supervillain shit on the part of Matt and Trey. So enough of the intro, let's just get straight into it.
I'm ready.
Personally, I'm just so happy that South Park is finally back. There's really nothing better than when one of your favorites is back and better than ever, which just so happens to be the case with today's sponsor, Raycon. Now, I've talked about Raycon's
earbuds.
So I'm going to start with a quick summary of the episode, and then I'll give context as to why this is so crazy, but if you want to just skip to that, feel free to do so with the chapters. The episode opens with Cartman finding out from his mother that his favorite comedy radio show, NPR, has been taken off the air by the president. Of course, this is...
Based president!
It's Cartman, so call
Suck it, Cartman!
NPR comedy show is pretty par for the course.
That's amazing.
They had like gay rappers from Mexico all sad because girls in Pakistan got stoned to death. And guess why they got stoned to death? Because they were raped. It was hilarious. Why would it?
Pakistan not beating the allegations today. I think they immediately need to import all those people into England. All right, move them all to England immediately.
They would cancel that.
He begins to notice that the cultural tides seem to be shifting away from woke, and he's afraid of that happening.
Honestly, that is so true. I'll be real here. No one's woke anymore, and now there's less people to make fun of. Damn, Cartman is so based.
Stuff is off limits. I mean, it's like now everyone rips on the Jews and it's totally fine, huh, Kyle?
True! It's so boring. When someone used to rip on the Jews, they were brave. All right, they would rip on the Jews, they'd get fucking canceled. All right, but now everyone's ripping on the Jews. It is so boring. Oh my god.
His last hope is PC Principal, the man whose entire character is literally just a representation of woke politics, but he quickly learns that he too is compromised.
Our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Woke is dead.
What?
Now, I'm not sure if this is referencing a specific event, but I know that this administration has made statements about wanting to put Christianity back into the government and schools, with some states doing things like putting the 10 Commandments in the classroom. So, of course, the way they go about showing the principle bring Jesus himself into the school. So Stan tells Randy this, and he's slightly concerned, so he does what every good parent would do and talks to ChatGPT about it. Back at school, Cartman is freaking out about the fact that even PC Principal isn't woke anymore, and he declares woke to be dead.
This is so sad. I can't believe woke died. What are we even gonna make fun of? What are we even gonna make fun of now that woke is dead? The truth is, now the woke people are extra retarded.
Stay retarded now. Nobody cares. Everyone.
True! Oh my god! There are no repercussions to even saying retarded. Oh my god. Society is pathetic now. No, nothing is brave. Nothing is brave.
Everyone hates the Jews. Everyone's fine with using gay slurs.
True.
Now, you may be wondering.
So true. All of that is so true. It's crazy. Now that everyone hates the Jews, being a Jew hater doesn't make you special anymore. Just makes you retarded. This is unbelievable.
Why would Cartman, of all people, care about things being less woke? You would think he would rejoice over that.
No. You can't make fun of woke people and be edgy and be different. You can't be brave and trigger people if it's normal now.
Exactly, because if no one is woke, Cartman has no one to piss off.
True.
Cartman doesn't actually hold any political beliefs at all. All he cares about is using social or political movements for his own enjoyment, and of course there is nothing he enjoys more than antagonizing people. So if no one's woke anymore, he has nothing to live for. I also feel like this is kind of a meta joke about South Park itself, where Matt and Trey feel like being politically incorrect and offensive was kind of their whole thing, but now that it's seemingly the norm, it's just not the same.
That is true. That's a good point. That does sound like a very meta commentary, but also I think it's very real. It's very real because on the one side, now that woke is dead, you have a lot of retards out there that face no repercussions by being completely retarded. You know, now everyone's a Cartman. Now everyone's a Cartman. Open Twitter, bro.
They're not special anymore. At the bar, the whole...
No, I'm not even shitting you. One of the biggest Twitter accounts on all of Twitter is this guy. Let me see if I can find him. This is one of the most popular Twitter accounts on the platform. All right, Dan Blazarian. He has 2 million followers. Every single tweet is against the Jews. The Jewish federal judge Robin Rosenberg denied the DOJ's request to unseal the Epstein grand jury files. Our president and government is refusing to prosecute pedophiles and sex traffickers. Even the U.S. ambassador of Israel is tired of the Jews. AOC is a fraud. She voted against the foreign aid to Israel. Who is behind the porn? It's secretly the Jews. At this point, the label anti-Semite is a badge of honor. Thank you. That's exactly what Cartman was talking about. I keep hearing, I know good Jews and not all Jews are bad. All right, love that. Hell yeah. There should be a public trial for Epstein. Right, nice. There are 4 Muslims in Congress and 36 Jews with dual citizenship to Israel. This is not even true. This is not even true, bro. There are 0 Jews with dual citizenship to Israel in Congress. This is literally a lie. But anyway, who cares? Trump is compromised, obviously, by the Jews. Like, I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest Twitter accounts on the entire platform. On the entire platform. Okay? Every single tweet. Every single one of them. Millions of views. Look at this. 7.3 million views. 144,000 likes. It's literally just a lie. But it doesn't matter. This is, yeah, he's a Nepo baby that lost all his money. He blew it all on fucking yachts and hookers and shit. But anyway, and he's retarded. Half the shit he says is just not true. But the thing is, it's so sad. We live in a society where it's boring. It's boring to say that the Jews are controlling the government.
Whole town is talking about the president, and we begin to see the effects of the death of woke firsthand.
I voted for him to get rid of all the woke stuff. But now that retarded faggot is just putting money in his own pockets.
So they all get riled up.
Yeah, they don't even realize that, honestly, that's a good dig at a lot of the Trump haters, by the way. Like, the right-wing Trump haters. I think a lot of people don't realize how much has changed since Trump came into power. The fact that DEI is dead, that woke is dead. You look at a fucking billboard as a poster, all right, to sell pants. The model that they hire is not going to weigh 400 pounds anymore, right? These are, in my opinion, really good things that are normal for society. However, you know, people find a new thing to complain about it all the time. It's not enough for them. People forgot how bullshit it was.
And decide to take matters into their own hands, forming an angry mob and heading straight to the president's front door.
I actually really like that idea. It's the people that voted for Trump that got what they voted for, but are not satisfied that more wasn't done.
Except when they bust in, they find a scene they didn't expect.
Excuse me, do you mind?
Oh my God, Garrison isn't Trump anymore? They have a new Trump?
So Garrison is no longer the president.
Oh my God. Oh my God. For those of you that don't understand South Park lore, they had a whole meme. They thought Trump was gonna lose the 2016 election. So as a meme, they got this guy to spray paint his face orange and win as Trump. And they were so shocked. They were so fucking shocked that Trump actually won the election. They just kept that joke running. So the fact that he is not Trump is terrifying.
He gave up on that at the end of the last season. And can I just say, thank God. Garrison has always been one of my favorite characters, and him having to play the role of Trump for so long was downright exhausting. I am so glad they found a way to remove him from that role entirely. But if Garrison isn't president,
who
it begs
is
the question?
Who's the in the White House?
Oh my
We get the
God.
answer to this question alongside
Oh
the return
my
of the
God!
A dictator from the Middle East? Hey, relax, guy. I'm just your average Joe. Take a rest.
Now,
Wait, why didn't they at least give him the voice? He has such a good voice.
if you're not a
They gave him the Saddam Hussein voice? Oh my God. They cooked so hard.
scholar in South Park lore like myself, you may not understand who this is, but that's why I'm here. That, my friends, is Saddam Hussein, and he was an occasionally recurring character from the early seasons of the show. The last time he made a major appearance was 22 years ago back in season 7 when he got caught pretending to be the Prime Minister of Canada.
Of course.
He played a major role in the South Park movie as Satan's lover and a couple of subsequent episodes in the following season. But he is back in all of his glory, this time with a fresh new look. Now, technically, we don't know if this is actually a separate character, just given the exact same voice and mannerisms.
That is fucking hilarious. Oh my God, that is so fucking funny.
As Saddam, or if it's Saddam wearing a disguise. I tend to lean towards the latter because he did exactly that in his last appearance, and there's a few lines that hint at it.
Come on, you don't want me to bomb you like I did Iraq. Thought you just bombed Iran. Iraq, what the hell's the difference? Relax, guy.
But this is the point with off the rails, giving us a completely absurd and Looney Tunes-esque caricature of Trump, who goes down the halls critiquing all of his portraits for his penis being too small. Then
Bro, he has a tank penis. That's amazing!
caricature of Trump, who goes down the halls critiquing all of his portraits for his penis being too small. Then he hops into bed with another familiar face we haven't seen in a while.
I can see why people find this disrespectful that Trump is sleeping with Satan. But this is S-tier parody.
So small.
Now, this may seem overly childish even by South Park standards, but there is a very good reason for that, which we'll talk about later in the video. Meanwhile, Cartman has completely given up hope, confiding in Butters at the pond.
No! A bathroom for women only!
Talk about later in the video. Meanwhile,
No! A men-only bathroom! You can't even make fun of Lily Tino anymore! You can't even make fun of trans people! This is so sad.
Cartman has completely given up hope, confiding in Butters at the pond. Without Woke, he has nothing to live for, and despite Butters' pleas, he knows what he has to do.
I'm gonna kill myself.
Oh, damn.
And you.
Back at the White House, Trump
Literally what? I love Cartman. I have no choice but to take my own life. And yours as well. Sorry about that.
is living it up when Randy gives him a call to air the town's grievances.
All right.
He casually walks past some rather flattering artwork on the
Is that a portrait of Trump fucking a sheep or a goat? Yeah, I do feel like they're kind of playing the Saddam Hussein, like, you know, Islam racist jokes. Like, that's crazy.
work on the wall while they chat, and he ends it by threatening to sue South Park. And Satan
Based!
has a couple of questions
That is hilarious, because he sues all the fucking media stations and he keeps winning.
for him when he gets back into bed.
Another random bitch commented on my Instagram that you're on the Epstein list.
Are we still talking about that?
Ooh! Oh, that's smart, baby. They fucking cooked him. They fucking destroyed them.
It's weird that whenever it comes up, you just tell everyone to relax.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's really weird, bro. Yeah. The fact that every time someone asks you about it, you're like, why are we still talking about that guy? We don't need to talk about him. He's dead. I saw it. He killed himself. I shot him, but he killed himself. 2 bullets to the back of the head. Hillary did it. He killed himself. We all saw it. The files are on the desk. There are no files. Why are we still talking about this?
You remind me more and more of this other guy I used to date. Like, a lot.
Meanwhile, Cartman is in Butters' garage attempting to suck down the exhaust from the car, and he eventually convinces Butters to join in.
No.
60 Minutes is very timidly reporting on South Park's protest against
Yeah, obviously, because 60 Minutes got sued by Trump for manipulating the Kamala Harris interview.
Trump, which gives a pretty funny gag.
The Stotch family is proud to say that we own an electric car.
What's funny about this is
That is a good gag.
I actually predicted they would make this joke because they made pretty much this exact same joke back in season 12.
What happened? I thought you were gonna kill yourself. I tried. Went to sleep in my mom's car in the garage with the engine turned on. But you didn't die? Freaking hybrids, man. They just don't do the trick anymore.
So then Jesus comes in to explain to the town what's really going on,
All
and
right.
he outright name drops Paramount, CBS, and Stephen Colbert.
That is fucking awesome. It's incredible. Anyone that thinks that this is all just a dig on Trump totally missed the point. The point was that they are absolutely butt-fucking Paramount.
I saw what happened to CBS. You're welcome.
They all got sued by Trump, and Trump won all those lawsuits. CBS slandered Trump. They called him a rapist, and he sued them for defamation, and he won. All right? 60 Minutes got sued by Trump because 60 Minutes doctored the footage from interviews after releasing it. So he sued them and won also. So this is hilarious.
Yes, you really want to end up like Colbert?
Because Colbert just lost his job.
You guys gotta stop being stupid.
And I'll explain all of this in a second. The episode ends with the town agreeing to settle with Trump, but as part of the settlement, they have to promote pro-Trump messaging, and we get our first pro-Trump PSA.
Who survived the wilderness
That's AI. There's no way they used a fucking, like, AI video.
and gave the ultimate sacrifice? Donald J. Trump.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I endorse this message.
His penis is teeny tiny, but his love for us is large.
That's beautiful.
It is just absolutely absurd
That's
with
beautiful.
Trump being deep-faked onto an actor, and I wish I could show what happens next, but you're just gonna have to go watch the episode. The final shot leaves us with Cartman and Butters still sitting in the car waiting for their inevitable demise, which of course will never come. Now, again, the way
That
they
was
made fun
brilliant.
of Trump in this episode seems to be incredibly juvenile, even for South Park.
Yeah, because Trump was not the target. The target wasn't Trump. I think that there is no actual outrage. I would be shocked if there were actually people on the right that are like genuinely outraged about this. No one's actually fucking triggered. All right, this is just hilarious. And anyone that makes believe that the other party is triggered is like just like being stupid. They showed him with a small penis and they made fun of him. Like, it's funny as fuck. I really honestly think that this is actually a dig on all these studios that keep buckling to Trump.
But trust me, this is all calculated, so let's get into it. So on the surface, this doesn't seem like anything.
And the funny thing is, if Trump actually does get pissed about this, then they literally lured him into a trap with a fucking small penis joke.
Particularly special. They went pretty hard on Trump, but it's not necessarily out of the ordinary for South Park. But allow me to explain what the real plan was here so that you can fully grasp the massive set of balls Matt and Trey have just
All
put
right,
on
let's
display.
go.
So I talked in my last two videos about South Park's dealings with Paramount and how Paramount has seemingly screwed them over time and time again. I recommend you check out those videos for the full context, but this is the short version. Paramount has been dealing with a lawsuit from Warner Brothers regarding South Park streaming rights for years at this point. This has affected South Park's production greatly. Paramount is trying to merge with Skydance just as South Park is coming to the end of its contract with HBO for streaming rights. The merger is a quote shit show according to Matt and Trey, and it causes the new season to be delayed by 2 weeks. And all of this is going on while they're trying to negotiate a new deal for streaming. The incoming executives from Skydance are given control over Paramount's deals, and they change the terms of South Park's original deal they had planned with Paramount. On top of that, the executives begin meddling
This
in
is
their
crazy.
negotiations with other companies like Netflix.
Dude, they're so fucking smart. They're so fucking smart. It's crazy. Like, I'm so impressed by them. Like, how do they come up with this shit? The entire Trump plot is just a ploy. It's just a ploy to trigger a reaction out of Trump and to scare the fucking shit out of Paramount that they're gonna get blasted again. Like, this is insane.
And HBO. Matt and Trey are very upset by this, and they threatened to sue Paramount over it only 2 weeks ago from today. So Matt and Trey have been very upset with Paramount for a very long time
Oh my
now,
God,
and
this
leading
is
up
the
to last
pettiest
couple
move of
days,
all
We
time.
didn't even know if they would still be signing with them for streaming rights. So that's all stuff we already knew, but a couple of days ago is when shit really started to hit the fan. In those videos, I didn't mention the fact that President Trump has actually been in a lawsuit with Paramount for months now, attempting to sue them over an interview with
And I think he won. I'm pretty sure he just won.
Kamala Harris during the elections. You don't need to know the full context of that. All you need to know is that Trump is pissed off at Paramount.
Yeah, the full context is she did an interview for the presidency, right? For the election. And they edited the interview to make it sound like her answers were wildly different than the actual answers she gave. And they ended up leaking that footage. So Trump said, okay, you are trying to manipulate the American people's votes and rig an election. I'm suing the fuck out of you. And apparently it just settled for $36 million. So Trump took them to the cleaners. And Paramount is fucking terrified. They fired Stephen Colbert. And now they got South Park in And South Park makes the most random anti-Trump episode of all time. This is such a genius move. It's crazy.
This wouldn't be a huge problem if it weren't for the fact that Paramount was attempting to merge with Skydance, and this merger needs approval from the FCC. The FCC is under the Trump administration, so essentially, as long as Trump is angry at Paramount and suing them, he can...
As long as Trump is angry at them, it cucks their business deal. This is it. This is diabolical. This is diabolical. I am in absolute shock that they went this far. This is the most meta commentary I've ever seen in an episode of television.
Can hold this merger above their head and prevent it from happening. Paramount realizes that if they want this merger done, they just have to give in. So they make the decision to settle with Trump for $16 million, supposedly promising another $20 million worth of screen time from Skydance when
so there's your 36.
merger actually happens.
As part of the settlement, we also had to agree to doing pro-Trump messaging.
This is the 4D chess move of all time.
Shortly after they agree to this, in a shocking coincidence, Paramount announces the cancellation of their decades-long Late Show with the host Stephen Colbert. They cite the fact that the Late Show was losing them tens of millions of dollars a year, but the weird part is that not only had the show just been renewed through 2026 recently, but it's also the most popular late-night show on television based on ratings.
Yeah.
Now, if you know anything about Stephen Colbert, you know that he's not the biggest fan of Trump, and he's making fun of him pretty much every night on his show. And specifically, he called out this settlement that Paramount made with Trump as looking more like a political bribe than a legal proceeding. And consequently, Trump has been a very outspoken critic.
I briefly watched an interview of Stephen Colbert on highly government-subsidized PBS and found it fascinating for only one reason. Why would they waste time and the public's money on this complete and total loser?
Of Colbert in the past. So it definitely seems a bit coincidental that Paramount would decide to cancel the #1 late-night talk show on TV while they are actively in the process of caving to the president's intimidation tactics.
I mean, who the hell does this president think he is? The government can't cancel the show. I mean, what show are they gonna cancel next?
And it looks even...
And it was Stephen Colbert. Oh, this is fucking insane. This might have been the most masterclass, because the thing is, obviously Paramount probably okayed this episode. It was so subtle. It was so fucking subtle, man.
Even worse when the president immediately hops on Truth Social to celebrate.
I absolutely love that Colbert got fired. His talent was even less than his ratings.
Celebrate Colbert's cancellation, and then also threaten the jobs of the other late night hosts who have a tendency to badmouth him. So with this lawsuit settled and the merger with Skydance all but confirmed by the president, Paramount is finally able to make a deal with South Park for a whopping $1.5 billion. Now, I'll be the first to admit that I've never been a big fan of Stephen Colbert. I personally have never found his...
He is the most unfunny hack on late night TV after Jimmy Kimmel.
Show to be very funny, and after his cancellation, it seemed like a lot of people share that sentiment. And as much as I love South Park and think it's absolutely worth an insane amount of money, as I said in my last video, I think investing $1.5 billion into a single show for 5 years could literally never make sense from a business perspective. So I do believe Paramount when they say that Colbert was losing them money, reportedly $40 million a year. But with
Yeah, I'm working on a full Colbert video for my other channel, so we'll do a deep dive into that in a bit.
the timing and the sheer amount of money they were willing to give to South Park immediately after, I find it incredibly hard to believe that money was the only motivator for this decision. Trump almost certainly had something to do with it, as they reference in this episode.
You really want to end Colbert? You guys gotta stop being...
So all of this happens earlier in the week.
Crazy.
South Park signs their deal with Paramount on Tuesday officially, and then they release this episode. Before the ink is even dry on the contract, they immediately go after Trump 10 times harder than Colbert ever has. Now, what's weird about this is the fact that Matt and Trey have been done with Trump for a while now. They claimed that the election was one of the major reasons season 27 didn't air at the end of 2024, because they just didn't want to talk about it anymore. And even after it was announced that the season would be airing in 2025, they went out of their way.
Dude, they didn't want to talk about Trump anymore, and still they made the most blatant Trump episode of all time, literally rubbing it into the face of the administration for no reason other than to get them to be pissed off at Paramount. And I'm sure Paramount is shitting themselves right now. Like, they are absolutely shitting themselves. Their merger is threatened. Like, oh my fucking god. This has got to be the most diabolical shit I've ever seen in my life. This is biggest flexes in anime.
To make it very clear they weren't going to be targeting Trump because they had nothing left to say about him. So were they just lying? Why would they immediately make the first episode about Trump? Well, as I said, Matt and Trey really do not like Paramount. And after seeing how all of this stuff played out with Paramount and the president, they began scheming. You see, I think they had the season premiere finished a long time ago, since it was supposed to come out at the beginning of July. But once they got delayed and saw how all of this was playing out,
Dude,
they went
this
back
is
to the
crazy.
drawing board and made an entirely new episode in the span of less than a week, which
Oh my god. Oh my god. They got into legal shit with Paramount, so obviously they already had a completed episode to launch. But when they got pushed off and they got into this beef, and remember, this episode was obviously made after Colbert was fired, which was less than a week ago. Oh my god.
which to be fair isn't abnormal for them. Most of their episodes are made in 6 days. But they had not forgotten about what Paramount did to them, and they wanted their revenge.
This
they
is
knew
crazy.
exactly
Generational
what they needed
haters.
to do. They would go after Trump hard. Make him a complete caricature. Make him a naked fat guy with a tiny penis who was incredibly insecure about it. But their motivation was not just to spite Trump. No. They were just doing what they had to do in order
Means to an end.
to get a reaction out of him. They were rage baiting him, daring him to get angry about it, because they knew that it would ruin any of the good graces Paramount and Skydance had just built with him. They were intentionally provoking him in the hopes that he would either file another lawsuit against Paramount
Oh my
or
God.
block the Skydance merger. I mean,
Oh my god, this is the pettiest shit I've seen in my entire life. I'm actually in shock. I'm actually in shock. They really are the goats.
just look at the way they portrayed him in this episode. As someone whose job it is to watch South Park, I can tell you in confidence that this is not normally how they would make fun of someone, especially in the modern era. I mean, just look at the way they've portrayed him in the past. They very rarely will go this juvenile with their insults. Everything that they did in this episode, from the pictures of him on the White House walls to the repeated mentions of his tiny penis, was calculated. Not only to make this episode as memeable as possible to get everyone talking about it, but to go after the things
Everyone's talking about it.
that Donald Trump has proven to respond to in the past. If they just made fun of his politics like they did in the past, no one would have cared and they would have gotten nowhere. So they just clowned the dude in a way so over the top it wouldn't be out of place in
This
a
is
Looney
genius.
Tunes episode.
This is
It reminded
diabolical.
me so much of their episode on Osama bin Laden back in 2001, when they knew that no one wanted to see them make fun of the political climate or the nuance in it, so they just clowned him in a very similar way. All they cared about was getting their revenge on Paramount, and they did so in the most hilarious way possible. They took $1.5 billion from this company and immediately repaid them by spitting directly into their face, handing them a lit bomb, and saying, "Good luck with that."
Bro, that's fucking insane. They pulled a Trump. They just said something outrageous and everyone's talking about it. They got $1.5 billion and they didn't even give a shit. It didn't change anything. This is like revolutionary. I don't know, man. This is crazy. This is the most meta episode of all time. Like, obviously, it's funny as an episode, as a standalone, but the point of this is the meta, like, the irony beneath the surface. Like, the climate, the actual discussion is on a meta level right now. It's not about the actual plot of the episode, bro.
This might be one of the most nefarious, evil genius business moves I have ever seen in my life, and it just made Matt and Trey billionaires.
Yeah, they made $1.5 billion. They're the richest comedians in the world.
That might be the most South Park thing they have ever done. It almost feels like the decades of Matt and Trey farting in the face of the industry has all culminated in this, becoming billionaires from this industry they despise so much and immediately telling them to go fuck themselves. And it's obvious that Matt and Trey recognize
And they didn't even do it directly. They did it all by targeting Trump because of the actual social zeitgeist. That was the point. It's not like they made an episode where they're like, yeah, Paramount is bad, Paramount is shit. No. It was all making fun of Trump in juvenile rage bait ways to scare the fucking shit out of Paramount.
is that this is a dangerous game they're playing, as the whole subplot follows Cartman and Butters trying to kill themselves. This is literally Matt and Trey's suicide attempt, acknowledging that what they're doing could very well mean the end of the show. And if it does mean the end of the show, I honestly cannot imagine a better way to go out. It's absolutely poetic.
It's
and
cinema.
I think it might be the funniest thing they have ever done.
Woo! And this is coming from the South Park guy. Yeah, this might be the funniest thing they've ever done. It really might be the funniest thing ever.
So now I hope you guys can start to understand the gravity of this situation. So let's finish it up by talking about my feelings on the episode overall. So the first thing I want to mention is that the show is now streaming on Paramount Plus, and there aren't any banned episodes besides the Muhammad ones, which is great to see. But I do want to mention that Matt and Trey are getting paid a flat rate regardless of if people watch on Paramount Plus. So I'm sure they could not care less if everyone started sailing the 7 seas, if you catch my drift. But one thing about this episode I was excited to see is that Garrison is seemingly back for good, and I cannot wait to see him play his old character again. It seems like they're setting up for Saddam Trump to be a recurring character, and I really hope that's the case because both him and Satan are great characters, and I'd love to see him a little more often. And what are they going to do with PC Principal, who gave up on all of his PC values just because it's not popular anymore? I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, how good of a meta commentary is that? It's almost like all the woke bullshit was all a grift the entire time. No one ever cared about the woke shit. It was just a thing to do. It was literally always like that.
Know how to feel about that. On one hand, I would love to see him return to his woke, preachy character, but on the other hand, it could be interesting to see him be an anti-woke, preachy character. I also wonder what they're gonna do with Cartman, since the last we saw he was trying to kill himself because no one is woke anymore. If I had to guess, I would say that they're gonna make him become woke, since he'll realize that's the most effective way to piss people off nowadays.
Oh my god! Diabolical! Diabolical!
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if the show itself did that for the same reason. I've already seen people calling South Park woke on Twitter after this episode.
These people are so pathetic. Like, dude, how the fuck do you get mad at South Park over this? This is genius.
And I think that's pretty funny. I think what a lot of those people don't really understand is that South Park is satire. Satire is inherently counterculture. South Park has not changed at all over the years. They have always been counterculture. The only thing that has changed is the culture. South Park makes fun of whatever the dominant ideas in the culture are, and as the culture has shifted so much in the last 27 years of their show, the groups of people getting offended by the show has shifted as well. In the late 90s, early 2000s, it was the conservative, puritanical type that would get mad. Then the culture shifted towards tolerance and open-mindedness, and it was the liberals who would get mad, and now we've come full circle back to the conservatives getting mad. And honestly, I think that's just proof that South Park is doing their job well.
Honestly, I don't think anyone's mad. I think it's only a couple of fringe retards that get mad. Even the woke people weren't mad at South Park. South Park is so good at being satire. Like, dude, it's crazy. Obviously, there's gonna be idiots in Facebook comments that just don't get the meta commentary here and are gonna be upset that they're insulting Trump because they like Trump, obviously. And you're gonna obviously have a lot of people be like, I didn't see them insult Biden like this. And it's like, all right, but who fucking cares? It's literally satire. It's not about being even in the fun that they make of people. It literally is irrelevant. They have every right to do whatever the fuck they want. And I think it's hilarious that they did this. It's nefarious and it's fucking funny as shit.
If people stop getting offended by South Park is the day that the show needs to end. But luckily, it doesn't seem like that'll be happening anytime soon. But all in all, I gotta say, this is one of the best episodes South Park has ever made. And we'll have to stay tuned.
Damn! Think about how crazy this is. Could you think about how insane this is? Season 27 of an episodic series. All right, this isn't like One Piece that just keeps evolving forever. Season 27 and they're at their peak. Just like the creators of South Park, the left has no authentic or original content, which is why their popularity is record lows. This is from the White House spokeswoman. The show hasn't been relevant for over 20 years. It's hanging on by a thread and uninspired ideas by desperate attempt for attention. President Trump has delivered on more promises in 6 months than any other president in the country's history, and no fourth-rate show can derail President Trump's hot streak. You know what I have to say about this? Hoes mad. They fucking got you. They fucking got you. Oh my lord. Oh my god. They fucking got you, bro. You got rage baited. They got you, bro. Get wrecked! Oh my god!
Matt and Trey have a Comic-Con panel scheduled literally for today, shortly after I'm writing this, so we'll also get to see just what they have to say about it.
Yeah, hoes mad, bro.
But that's all I have to say. This was crazy, and I'll see you guys.
And the funniest thing is, like, if Trump gets mad about this South Park episode, then he literally is playing into the insecure man with the small penis. This might have been one of the most nefarious, diabolical fucking episodes of anything ever. 10,000 likes for episode 2 of the season of South Park, overanalyzed. And definitely subscribe and check out Bloom's, link in the description, of course. This was cinema. This was absolute cinema. Stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.